We've got a good lineup here, guys. We've got Melted Cookie, we got Chetty, Cousin Carl, Unsparing, LUDICROUSFOX, Troutmouth, and myself, NefariousGains. So we're going to be talking about several different topics. There's a DLC coming from Giants regarding beet harvesting and a variety of other things coming up here in the spring. There's going to be, we've got several topics. We'll go ahead and fire it off with Carl.
Yeah, well, I was looking around at the Farming Simulator homepage, and they were talking about the new DLC package coming out in 2016, and I'm sure there's lots of different things that they're going to be releasing, so I was just going to hit upon one small part of it. One company that we do know of is Homer. They are a leading innovator in beet technology and cleaning technology and sprayers. Apparently they've got several types of beet harvesters, and they've got the floating axles and extra wide webbing for pickup and throughput of the beets. Some of their harvesters hold up to 40% more than other leading harvesters in the real world of farming. So it'd be curious to see how that affects the models that they come out with when they go to release the virtual content. Also, they have cleaning technology. So they have, for example, a lot of us that are participating in Pleasant Valley, the latest mod package had a potato washer, and if you use the potato washer, it increases the amount of money you make from selling to your vendors in the game. So it'd be curious to see if we get that option on beets. Then they also have sprayers that they produce, manufacture, and their sprayers handle fertilizer and slurry, so there'll be some new options there. Be curious to see what kind of areas they'll spray. In the real world, Homer claims that their spraying technology actually saves the farmer money. So we'll see how much virtual money it saves us on the old digital farm. Be sure to check out the Homer website. Look into it. There's a lot of good products there, and the more you learn about the real stuff, helps you appreciate what you have on your computer or your console. And speaking of console, just one quick note, PS3 and 360 users will not be getting that DLC come spring of 2016. So you might want to consider an upgrade if you want to participate with that. But all that will be coming out for Farm Simulator 15. So how do you like them beets? Anybody got something you want to say?
Well, I know my feeling on beets is with the current in-game stuff. I'm not talking about it now. With the consoles, with the topper and the harvester for beets, I just can't stand it. It's too tiny, and even the when you get the larger harvester, it's not bad, but the capacity I feel needs to be increased. And if they can increase the capacity in something that's coming out and maybe make a little bit bigger of a header, I think that would improve beets and along with it the potatoes. For the consoles. Now, PC, there's obviously mods out there, but it'd be nice to see what they come out with.
I think that if they increase the capacity trout, and get a bigger header for it, perhaps they could increase the amount of people that want to do beets and potatoes and all that good stuff.
I agree on that. Like they do need. There's three things they need for the specialty harvesters, the beet and potatoes, and for Pleasant Valley, onions and carrots, stuff like that. They need the capacity, they need the header size, and the speed, the actual the non-harvest driving speed. They need to work on that, and if they don't increase the speed on it, the speed and power, they need to rework the low loaders so they actually hold the harvesters the right way without having to hit and miss trying to drive up it, and you barely turn and it falls off and you have to spend another hour trying to put it back on there right. Because when you put them on there now, they don't go all the way, and when the legs come back up, they don't it hits and then it makes it off-centered. So they need to work on either the harvesters redoing those or the low loader. Which I would prefer the low loader. That way we can put the actual regular harvesters on it as well.
Well, I think that all of us are in agreement that the current header in the vanilla version is entirely too small, and trying to get anything done with what, a 3-foot header for a beet harvester that size is just ridiculous.
Absolutely, I'll totally say with that. You know, like I mean, you got a field that's a couple thousand acres, and I mean, you're looking at beets or potatoes, and you got a 3-foot header. Logically, how long is that going to take? Like, it's just, it takes forever.
Well, Ludicrous, it's not only the header, it's the capacity. You know, if you can only hold 36,000 pounds of, you know, potatoes or beets, you're going to be there for an hour or two regardless. You know, if every 5 or 6 rows, you know, down the line, if you have to sit there and unload it, you know, you're going to be there for a good hour and a half at least, just, you know, by yourself or with somebody else.
Yeah, and it's not with the potato and beet harvesters. It's not even the not even that amount of rows. It's like 1, maybe 1.5 at the most on a small field even. And we all play Pleasant Valley, which have big fields, and so it just takes all day, like Field 88 on MIG. So you know, it just takes all day, days at a time.
Absolutely. Did somebody else have something to say about that? Go ahead.
I was actually looking at their website, and the potato harvester they have is only 7 tons, and the sugar beet harvester is only 22 tons.
You're talking about the Homer's suggestion?
No, the Grimm, the in-game.
I see.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's still small. It's still a pain in the butt with the in-game regular equipment.
Well, my question is, how true to real life is it? I mean, maybe it's that much of a pain in the butt in real life, and all they're doing is striving to create an accurate simulation. Can anybody answer that?
Well, they did point out that it would have 40% more capacity over other leading harvesters, so maybe that is the direction they're going with it.
I just hope it auto unloads, because I know potatoes won't. Sugar beets do, but.
Awesome. All right.
I thought they changed that for with the 4.0 update. The potatoes now auto unload. If you put down the pipe before you start a worker, it should auto unload. Thought they fixed it. Maybe they didn't.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll see pretty soon. Now, we have a couple of other topics. LuDicrousFox, you had something to say about console modified gaming. You want to go ahead and take it away with that?
Yeah, the modifications I was thinking for consoles and basically Sony and Microsoft were a basic map editing software portion of the game where users could go in and create their own map. Basically, you know, take a bar and drag it, put it here, set up the map how they basically like it. Where then the user can decide whether he wants to keep that map to himself, or he can take that map and choose to upload it where other people can download it and try it themselves. Thinking back to other games that previously used basic map editings were games like Skate and Tony Hawk, were the major games that actually allowed users to go and say, I want to make a map and I want to do this and I want to put this here and this here and this here, and just thinking outside, like with the consoles not having very many maps to play, this would benefit them being that they would be able to make their own maps, right? Basic drop and drag techniques would be used, and I think it's got potential if it was possible for next-gen systems using cloud software, I guess.
Cool. And Cookie, I'm sure you have something to say about that, being a console gamer.
I'm totally gonna agree with Ludicrous, but I think that there should be some way for us to you know, try mods, whether it's, you know, we have to download them from some type of cloud or Dropbox, you know, format, or if Giants, you know, pre-uploads them to their servers and lets you, you know, tab over in the store. You know, and it has like, okay, these are the top 5 mods of the day, and it changes every day. You know, that would be cool to see. You know, maybe one day it's going to be logging, one day is going to be harvesters, one day is going to be map. You never know. It's going to be those type, top 5 mods for that day.
Awesome.
It'd be kind of nice to see, like, along with the whole map concept, is a build your own equipment concept. So you've got 12 different, like Euro Truck, where you have the little tabs, the icons you can click on and change the headlights out on vehicles and motors and tires and all that, and give people a little bit more of a personal feel to their equipment. Because that could all be preloaded in the game, so it's not technically mods, but you are making your own equipment.
Yeah, and even so, like, even if they did come up with a simple engine that would allow users to create and modify their tractors and whatnot, that could also be something that could be uploaded and shared with amongst others, right?
Yeah, it could. I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be a Dropbox or a cloud, type function. If they go through and load it, one time a day, and they do the whole top, 5-10 mods, I think they could start there, and then if they want to try a Dropbox, they could try a beta for Dropbox.
Good deal.
Absolutely.
Now, Ludicrous, you said that you dealt with this on Tony Hawk, that they had a successful version of this. Now, does it make sense that they could do the same style of upload and availability to everyone with the Farming Sim?
As far as their software goes, I'm not too familiar with it or how the transferring would be possible. I mean, basically with Tony Hawk and those games that you would modify a map, you'd put your ramps out and then you'd send it out there. It was basically choosing to be, I want to upload this map, you upload it, and then it's like, 12 to 24 hours to get approved and then put on there wherever it goes. And people can come and check it out and, hey, it's got a rating on it, I want to try this, and they download it.
Okay. And I guess it would be, I don't know who the creator of Tony Hawk was, but I guess it would be Giant's responsibility to, they'd have to have a department that was dedicated to that 24-hour, map validation and then approval.
Yeah, Giants would be behind it. I mean, I'm sure they could get a third company to do it if that's how they would do it, or possible. Once the person has a positive reputation, maybe it could be an instant upload.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Who here else has had a console experience similar to that? I think that's a little limited.
Yeah, it's kind of unknown.
Okay. Now, go ahead.
I think the biggest issue would be, I know Microsoft does like the computers and the Xbox and stuff like that, but I think with the current, probably the software that's running on the consoles, and everything has to be approved through Microsoft for Xbox to get put on consoles, and especially Sony. I think that is where they're going to get into, like, basically hit a dead end with. Like, it'll be a bridge that they're going to have to cross when they get to it.
Okay.
What I remember from Tony Hawk is in the actual map creation, there was everything was defaulted. So you couldn't, like, make your world this size or make it this size, and you couldn't take this ramp and change it into this ramp. Everything was already pre-done. So you have this certain thing in this certain area to do it in. And I think that's what simplified it for Tony Hawk. Being able to create a map. It gave you, like 10 ramps and 10 railings and 3 stairs. And then you just take those 20 things and make your own thing with it. And that's where it got simple. As with Farm Sim, it would be more complicated. Because there's different trees and then different important areas for logging and field usage and everything like that. So it'd be a little bit more complicated. But there is a way they could default it to a certain size in a certain area and a certain X amount of stuff per map. Like you can only add like 50 things for this map, or you can only add so many fields for this map. There could be a way to do it, but it would. I don't think at this point Giants could handle that kind of stuff though.
Okay. Well, and I think LudiCrousFox actually had a recommendation that was not far from what you just described, where you utilize all vanilla, the base Farming Sim 2015 buildings and equipment. LF, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. The equipment that would be available to the user would be the in-game vanilla stuff. So the vanilla barns, the vanilla storage areas, the vanilla sheds, whatever they have. So whatever basically that you go in right now and see that's vanilla in the game would be accessible for drop and drag throughout the map as customization. Now the maps themselves wouldn't be able to be changed in size maybe on a later date, but currently as it stands, I think that the maps should stay the same size they are, be able to be wiped, flattened out, and then you can just do the layout how you feel is necessary.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure that the console gaming community would love that kind of versatility. Am I right, MC?
Yeah, yes, sir. We've given a lot of Giants feedbacks about being able to play on different maps, create different maps, have some sort of basic map build like Mr. Ludicrous was saying.
Awesome. Now the new creation and evolving game content that would be indicative of modified farm sim gaming. I think what Troutmouth has to bring to the table in his topic has a lot to do with that. And Trout, you want to go ahead and take that away?
Sure. I'm kind of proposing, the concept of a massive multiplayer online farming community. It can be done as long as the equipment's there. You've got, you can look at GTA, you can look at Diablo 3. Those are all open world environments. And take that and kind of throw it into a farm sim situation. So you start out on a small farm. It's a multiplayer platform. The farm is always there. It's always running for everybody. As you gain, as your farm grows, you get more money and all that. You can go and purchase bigger properties. And then if you've got friends online that want to come into your property, if they're a friend, they can come on in. The thing is, it would be all vanilla. Because there'd be no mods in it, because it would be open world, and I think it would give a little bit more of a friendly environment to all players instead of having to rent a dedicated server to play. If you want to have something going 24 hours a day, to where when you click multiplayer, you're joining a multiplayer world, and you could have a grain bin is now has a high demand for something, and there's 400 people in the server, 200 people are bringing truckloads of grain, so you're waiting in line, waiting for your turn to get up there. I think it'd be kind of cool. I see a big future with that, as long as the servers and things are allocated for it.
So you're proposing something in the lines of Euro Truck multiplayer, pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
And you were saying something about, I don't remember the name of the game company that you brought up.
Oh, I used VeryGames for my server. And, I have to purchase the server for them I do it for a year. But if you don't, if somebody's playing on console and they want to play multiplayer, they're only limited to while they're online. Whereas this would be open to anybody around the clock.
Okay. And that would be a massive multiplayer game experience, am I right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Do you have any proposal or vision of how many people could this world accommodate?
The opportunity could be endless. I mean, it depends on your server capacities and what they're running. You look at World of Warcraft, that's got 1 million players on there, or it's the farm sim community is a pretty tight knit community when it comes to the game itself, the passion of the game. And to have an opportunity, it could even be open to console. So console PC could mesh on this online world, and there wouldn't be any mods. You'd be limited to the vanilla equipment, but it'd still be a great time, and you can make it to something that really expands. And you got somebody you can put job offers out there. Hey, looking for somebody to come harvest my fields. I'll pay you $10,000, and somebody could pop in and say, "Oh, I'm going to go harvest that field, make a little money, and then pop off."
Awesome. And so, Chetty, what do you think about that?
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, that would be it'd be a lot on Giants though to get the servers and put the money in the servers, and I'm sure that also would drive the cost of the game up as well to help pay for the servers.
Okay. Well, would you think that it would be a standalone? I mean, Farm Sim 15. I mean, this would be a game that would have to be developed. I would think that it would be a standalone Farm Sim, not necessarily with a year online. FSO.
Yeah,
You know
it would be something they would have to build from the ground up, in my opinion.
All right. Cousin Carl, can you chime in on this idea?
Well, if it actually came to fruition, it would be interesting to see how it played out, because you could, I've participated in some MMOs over the years, and they keep adding different worlds to other MMOs, so we could have a North American map, a South American map, who knows, the DLC might have a Australia, New Zealand, Down Under package. I mean, the potential there is really quite amazing. If you're a little bit of an entrepreneur and a visionary, who knows what it might lead to. It would also be interesting to see how they could create competition, so you could have farming guilds within the structure of it, and so forth, just to see how that kind of works out over time. What do? You raid a guy's farm and throw a pitchfork at him, or drive over him with a tractor, Hey, this is my field now, buddy. You got to fight to get it back,
Right, and I think Troutmouth covered that a little bit earlier with having lots of farms with gates, and you can't exactly access them without an access code. And if somebody does come on your farm, what can you do? Can you tell us a little about
shotgun?
Yeah. Well, go ahead and describe that aspect, because that's pretty important. Access to your property.
So the idea I was thinking of is, okay, if you wanted to come onto the farm, if say Neff wanted to come onto my farm, I know him. Here's my code, or you're a friend. You've got access. Where if somebody isn't allowed on that farm, either they don't have access, or they're running around trying to steal your equipment. Got a little GTA in there. You got a shotgun running around with, blasting some rounds out. Throw a little hunter in there.
Oh boy, that sounds exciting.
Who gets to fly the crop duster? That's what I want to know.
That sounds like a lot of fun. All right, so Unsparing, you want to chime in on the Farm Sim MMO?
I don't know what to think about that, because I'm real strict on my farm, but then again that goes back to I pay for it, and I don't want to waste my money on trolls. But if it was an open server that was hosted by Giants, yeah, that'd be really cool. But for my farms, most of mine are pay to play, because I'm not going to waste my money on trolls. And that's pretty much where I stand with it. If somebody else is paying for it and hosting it, that'd be awesome. But as far as if whoever's spending the money that needs to, kick the trolls, and if some people want to pay for it just to pay for it. That's how mine was for a year. I've had both my Farm Sim servers for over a year, and they've always been free up until recently, and I just got tired of trolls.
Okay.
So
yeah. What I would have to say is, through the magic of gaming coding, you and if I'm not mistaken, look, you're going to have a gate, and that's not the only accessible, or that is the only accessible method to get on the farm, and then you've got barbed wire all the way around. That in the real world you can climb over some barbed wire. But like I say, with the magic of gaming code, you will not be able to get past that. So the only people that would actually be able to access your farm are who have that code. Am I right, Trout? Isn't that what you had in mind?
Yeah, similar to, like, if you look at Grand Theft Auto, you can't just go into somebody's apartment, but if they're invited over, they're allowed to come in, you know.
Okay, there you go. There you go. So, Ludicrous, what are your thoughts on this Farm Sim Online idea?
I think that's a great idea. I'm thinking more of what if you'd have a ranking system as well on your farm, that as the person gains more experience on your farm, they can do harder tasks, like work their way from, basically just running a grain trailer to then running a combine.
Starting from mowing, everyone starts at mowing on the farm.
Yeah, mowing.
Everyone does.
Sugar
You
beets.
are the mower.
Harvesting sugar beets.
Oh my God! Yes, right.
With the basic equipment at that.
Oh.
Right on. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you all for participating. We've come to the end of the show. Everybody out there that has enjoyed the podcast here, you can look at the bottom of the YouTube video in comments and go ahead and give us suggestions on what additional information we might have missed and, topic suggestions for future podcasts. Everybody, want to thank all of you, the Melted Cookie, Chetty, Cousin Carl, Unsparing, LuDicrousFox, and Troutmouth. I will have everyone's URL to their Twitch channel in the channel description or the video description below. And thank you very much for tuning in.